Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to demo how to create a basic HTML5 web page using Notepad++. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and install Notepad++. So open up a browser and go to notepad-plus-plus.org. Once you're on the web page, click download and then just grab the latest version and click the green download button. Now, if you're not using a Windows computer, you're gonna have to just choose a different free code editor such as Atom. So you can go to atom.io, and like I said, if you're not using Windows, right here there's a link that says other platforms, and they have a Mac version, so that should work for whatever kind of operating system you're using for your Mac. I believe there should be a Linux version, but if there's not, you're just going to have to do a search for just a free open source code editor that'll be accessible for whatever platform that you're using, whatever operating system you're using, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Notepad++. And before I start typing in code, the first thing I want to do is save the file. So File, Save As. I have a folder on my desktop called New Web. I'm going to call my first page index.html. It's just common to name the main page of your website index.html. And then I want to look for hypertext markup language and choose that as my save as type. If we were creating a style sheet, I would look for Cascade style sheets and choose that, but we're fine right now, so click Save. And this is important because when you're using Notepad++, it will make suggestions when you're typing in your code, which will help you speed up your coding. Because, like for instance, I want to type in !doc. Let me use capitals. Doc type HTML. And then the next tag I want to have is HTML, which allows me to just click the option and it'll fill it in for me. That's not saving a lot of time, but you know, it can still be useful to have Notepad++ make these suggestions for you. And I want to have a closing HTML tag. In between, I'm going to need to have an opening and a closing head. Let's see, what else do we want? We'll give our site a title. I'll just call it My Web Page. And I'll have a closing title tag. One thing I really recommend including in your head is a meta tag. So HTTP equivalent equals content type. You know what, I'm not really a huge fan of coding with Notepad++. I'd like to just use regular Notepad, so I'm not being distracted by all of the suggestions and things like that. But nevertheless, if you're brand new to coding, something like Notepad++ is going to be really helpful to you as opposed to someone that's been doing this for a while. But even if you've been doing this for a while and you want to just use something that's like really bland, like just regular Notepad, you can always copy and paste your code into here and use it to help look for any mistakes that you've made along the way, like if you have any typos somewhere. So the content for this website is going to be text HTML. The character set is going to be UTF-8. I think that's good enough for now. If you want to know more about meta tags, watch my longer HTML tutorial where I go into more detail about why having meta tags is useful, basically to help index your page with search engines. Like you could add all kinds of information about like who's the name of the author, some of the keywords and things like that into the meta tags. Let's see. Beneath the head, we need to have our opening and closing body tags. Let's just add a simple paragraph saying hello world. Hello worlds is just basically the most common very first message that you type into your website, and it's just coding convention. So I'm going to click save. Now I'm going to open up my page, show you what it looks like. So you see my page title, my web, in my browser tab, and you see the hello world paragraph here. Obviously there's a lot more we can do. We can add lists, we can add paragraphs, we can add horizontal dividers, we can add images, tables, whatever. But I just wanted to basically show you what HTML5, what Notepad++ is capable of doing. Again, you want to save your file as .html before you start adding in your code. And then when you start typing out, it'll give you suggestions for how to complete your tags and things like that. One other thing to keep in mind when you're coding is if you have a typo in your tags, like for instance, instead of P we have like PL or something like that. If we click either of the paragraph tags, it's not going to highlight purple. If we click like HTML, the opening and closing tag are both purple. If we click body, the opening and closing tags are purple. Same for title. Anything that has an opening and a closing tag, even meta, we have this backslash in front of the greater than sign. That's showing you where, it's basically showing you where you open a tag and where you close it, which is going to be really helpful if you had like a div tag here, and then several paragraphs later you had your closing div tag. If you wanted to recall where something began and when it ended, having the highlighting will really help you out. And it's also going to be helpful to just point out if you have a tag that's formatted incorrectly, or if you don't have an opening or a closing tag. So now that we have two closing paragraph tags, it's highlighted purple. Now that I have a typo here, there's no highlighting. So that's just a good way to indicate if you have a mistake. Now as far as correcting typos of any text you have between the paragraph tags, I don't think Notepad++ has a spell checker. So what you'd want to do, so let's open the folder, let's go to our website. So what you want to do is just copy this, open up Microsoft Word, and then, do a spell check that way if you're really concerned about making sure you don't have any grammar mistakes on your web pages. So you would just take your page, copy and paste everything into Word, run a grammar check that way. Now, one other thing I want to point out is that there's a great website called W3 Schools. I believe I have it open somewhere in another browser. Let me drag this tab over. So, if you ever need help with HTML coding or CSS, go to W3 Schools, go to reference, and just go to HTML tag reference or CSS reference. So if you're wondering about meta tags, there should be a section down here for that. And this will give you just an explanation of what you can do with meta tags, a definition, and some examples. like I was saying earlier, you could add keywords, or you could have information about who's the author, just a description of what the web page is about. So it's just great to have meta tags just to help index your page when web crawlers are looking at your website and trying to decide how they're going to rank it in Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever your preferred search engine is. As I said in my other tutorial, if you have a description meta tag and then you have a bunch of keywords that you know, or just like based on topics that are in the mainstream media, like, I don't know, presidential election, or the name of a box office smash hit in the theaters right now, and your page actually has nothing to do with that, that's gonna be a strike against you. The page is the web crawlers are not going to just be satisfied looking at meta tags. They're going to see if the content of your page matches the tags. So, but nevertheless, this is still just a good way to help, add keywords and descriptors for your website. So anyways, let's go back to Notepad++. So add some more content while we're here. Save it, refresh my page. There you go. So every time you add more code to your website, be sure to save it, and then you can refresh your browser and to see what updates you've made. Save it, refresh. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was pretty helpful. I think I'll make some more videos on HTML5 in the future, but for now, this is just basically, I'm just basically giving a recommendation for Notepad++. If you want to use something different for a code editor like Atom, let's take a look at this one. No, I don't want to register right now. It's not much different. The first thing you want to do is just have an index page created already, so let's create a new page, new file, let's call it, let's save it as, we'll have a folder called Atom Projects. Let's call it test2.html. And then when I start using Atom, so it'll similarly give me suggestions for what I should do next. It's probably a little bit better than Notepad++, because it will actually even go a step further and fill it in with the greater than and less than symbols. So this is Atom for you, but like I said, with Notepad++, when you start creating a new file, you want to save it as using the extension for whatever coding or programming language that you're using, so in this case HTML. So let me create a new file and just start typing in HTML. It's not going to make suggestions because I didn't save it as a .html file first, and it doesn't really know what language I'm typing in. I guess it would be cool if Atom could just figure it out, but you really need to tell it. So if I was programming with PHP, I would create, like, I don't know, code.php, and then it would know I was typing in PHP, and it would make suggestions accordingly. But anyways, thank you for watching this tutorial. Hopefully it was helpful for you. Atom's free, Notepad++ is free. I don't have a major preference, so just figure out which one you like for yourself.